Welcome everybody to what will be the first of several regular updates about Fortuna upcoming runners and other Fortuna news. Well, we've got an interesting weekend of racing this weekend with 5 Fortuna runners in 3 jurisdictions, here in New Zealand, in Singapore and also in Malaysia. First off the block, tomorrow at Timaru is highly likely. This strapping son of High Chaparral, 5-year-old, has already won 3 races. He hasn't been the easiest horse to train. Typical of the High Chaparral breed, he has lots of quirks. We've sent him to the South Island for 2 reasons. One, to give him a trip away, which might help these quirks, and also the opportunity to get slightly better tracks than what we have here in the North Island. Anyway, tomorrow at Timaru he contests race 9, the rating 75 2,100 metre event. He'll be ridden from barrier 2 by Matt Cameron. At his last 2 outings he's drawn out. He loves to lead, and by drawing out wide he's had to use up some early petrol to get to the lead. So tomorrow he's drawn beautifully and does appear to be a really good each way chance. Race 9 at Timaru tomorrow, highly likely. Saturday at Ruakaka we have 2 of our very classy fillies, the 3-year-old fillies, Winborn and It's Our Showtime. Winborn needs no introduction, a black type winner at age 2 and 3, and recently she's been placed in 2 Group 3 races at Ellerslie and Trentham, running without much luck from wide draws. Tomorrow at Ruakaka, Saturday at Ruakaka I should say, she has drawn very well at barrier 4. We've elected to put an apprentice on her, Donnie Prastiou, who claims 1 kilogram. And make no bones about it, this is a very tough race for her. She's carrying more weight than the older horses in this rating 75 1,200 metre event. And she comes up against some other very classy 3-year-olds. However, she's in great order, she's very fit. We have an excellent barrier draw and track conditions will suit her for sure. She's bound to be very competitive. That's race 6 at Ruakaka on Saturday. Race 9 at Ruakaka sees the lightly raced It's Our Showtime. This lovely showcasing 3-year-old filly out of a Zabeel mare has been to the races 4 times for a win and 2 other minor placings. Last time she drew very wide and came into the race nicely, but just got run down in the last few strides. Again, tomorrow she's drawn out Matt Cameron to ride. He'll be tested to make sure that she gets a nice posse from that wide draw. But if she does get luck in the running, this is a rating 65 1,200 metre event, she's got the class to be right in this race. Singapore on Sunday, we have Secret Spice racing, but earlier in the day in Malaysia we have Our River Dancer. Now this is an interesting horse. He's a 5-year-old son of Danehill Dancer. He's already had 2 wins in Singapore, but needs wetter tracks, which is why we've transferred him to Malaysia. And he won in Malaysia on his debut. He then stepped up in class and battled away in a class 4 race. But last week he went to the front again in a class 4 race on his home track at Penang and almost pulled the race off, getting run down in the last 100 metres or so. He backs up tomorrow over 1,300 metres in another class 4 race. This is Sunday I'm talking about. Backs up in a class 4 1,300 metre event. He loves to lead. He'll get conditions to suit. Jockey Salih, who rode him to win on debut, is back on his back, and he looks to be a good chance. Later in the evening in Singapore we have Secret Spice racing in race 6 at 7 New Zealand time. This is probably our best chance on the weekend, although all of our runners do have prospects. The reason I say that about Secret Spice is that she's got everything to suit her. She's back to Class 5. She has been competitive in Class 4 without winning, but placing. She's now back in Class 5. She's drawn well at 7. She's on the turf, which is her favoured surface. It's over 1,400 metres. She's been freshened. She does get back in the running, but this race has been run on the long course turf with the rail in at the true position. So she's got everything to suit her, including Manuel Nunes, Singapore's top jockey, on her back. Secret Spice, race 6, Singapore, Sunday evening. So that's our summary of our runners over the weekend. And in closing, just to remind you that we still have shares left in all of the 4 yearlings we have currently for sale. Since we announced a couple of weeks ago that our lovely yearling filly that we have nicknamed Venus by Burgundy out of Breeze is going to Singapore, the shares have really taken off. And as I give this message, we only have 15% of the shares left. So if you're keen on racing this lovely filly in Singapore, where she's been aimed at the two-year-old series in 2017, she shows real natural ability and does possess a lot of speed, then jump on board. 15% left, $3,200 for a 5% share, and we will do shares down to 1% in any of our yearlings. Talking of fillies, we've also got our lovely Commands Malika Bell filly, the one we've nicknamed Valerie. She's eligible for Karaka Million, also a real 2-year-old type, get up and go from what we've seen from her at the track so far. She also possesses real natural speed. If male horses are your thing, then you can't go past Wolf, our Pour colt, who's a half-brother to the mighty Wall Street. And of course, Pour has already made his mark down here with last Saturday Sacred Elixir, his 2-year-old son, winning the Group 1 2-year-old race in Brisbane. Great value for this guy. He's just $4,000 for a 5% share. Probably not a 2-year-old type, a very leggy individual. He is shaping up to make the grade as a 3-year-old. And lastly, Nonu, our Darcy Brahma gelding, who's also Singapore bound and is also being aimed at the 2-year-old series in Singapore, doing lots of good work on the track. And we're looking forward to getting all of these yearlings to the trials in August so that they can show us a little bit more. That's it for now. All the best to connections of our runners on the weekend, and if you're having a bet, all the best at the TAB as well.